I broke my own rules when it comes to shooting in 4K, and as punishment I'm going to share all the reasons why I shoot in 4K and maybe why you should too. First up is the obvious reason is cinema quality. I shoot in 4K because the images are clear and I'm aspiring to be a cinematographer, and if I want to create cinema quality images I'm going to need to use 4K. 1080p just isn't going to cut it. I want to live my life without regrets. When I look back on footage in years to come, it might not be the greatest, but it'll be in 4K and it will be clear and I can potentially reuse it. Another reason I shoot in 4K is less obvious, and it's to do with technology and to do with tech platforms. Every tech platform tends towards broadcasting. If you think of all the tech platforms, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even going back to Vine, they all tended toward broadcasting in that they started off as peer-to-peer, so everyday people sharing stuff on the platform, and after time other people joined the platform to watch what was going on. And when they did that, the platform started to promote individual broadcasters, whether they're individuals or whether they're companies that do broadcasting. And so if we think to the future, YouTube may become a broadcast platform beyond what it is today. Clearly they've experimented with that. They promoted Will Smith all last year and they're promoting YouTube original content, which is highly produced as a broadcaster. All broadcast footage is of high quality, so for individual producers like myself, if we want to stay on a platform into the future that is broadcast orientated, well, we have to become broadcasters. This means if we have two producers and one is shooting in 4K and the other is shooting in 1080p, but they're both producing effectively the same content, we can expect that YouTube will start to promote the 4K footage, the 4K producer, and decrease the search results for the 1080p producer. I'm not sure how much of an advantage this will be, but 4K will definitely win in this case, and small percentages will matter. And we've seen this before from Google. Around 2014, Google changed its search algorithms to promote websites that were mobile optimized. So if you had two websites, one website is mobile optimized, meaning it works well on a mobile device, and the other one is not web optimized. Well, Google changed the search results so that the web optimized version appeared more often. I think the same is going to happen to 4K. YouTube is run by an algorithm, and that algorithm is probably going to favor 4K, because if you think about new entrants onto YouTube, if we've got an entrant that is 1080p, who's producing content in 1080p, and we've got another producer that's producing in 4K, we would expect YouTube to promote the 4K footage over the 1080p footage simply on the basis that it is more likely that a 4K content producer has a higher level of standards and a higher level of skills than a 1080p producer. That initial ramp up on YouTube is likely to be stronger for a 4K producer. Now we come to the very personal reason on why I shoot in 4K and how I broke my own rules. I shoot in 4K because it limits the amount of footage I shoot. It's much better for me to edit footage than it is for me to shoot lots and lots of footage and then do editing. And I break that rule in the last couple of weeks when I went to Tasmania and I shot 2 weeks worth of 4K footage, and I'm trying to edit it down right now. 4K in general means I'm shooting less footage and I'm getting into the editing studio faster, which means I learn faster because you discover all your mistakes in the editing studio, and that's how you get better. That next video that's going to play on this channel is on this lens, the very lens I'm shooting on right now. It's a 35mm lens. It's fantastic. It's fantastic in 4K on the Canon M50 because we have a 2.56 crop factor, making this lens incredibly clear, incredibly fantastic in the studio and outside. So subscribe and you'll see the results of that in my next video, if I can get it out of the editing studio. But the sun is high, so I'm going to come back here at sunset. Quick change of plan. As you can see, even though the sun is high, the light on me has become golden, so there's a bit of a bushfire risk right now. Got to get out here, check out if there's a fire coming. We can see from the whitecaps on the ocean that the wind has really picked up, and we're getting the first signs that the fire is coming closer because ash is now falling from the sky. They're not hot embers yet, but ash is falling right here.